Hi guys, welcome to another Photoshop work through. We're going to do repetition today. You could call it montage, but essentially it's combining several images into one image. It's kind of quite sort of a creative, sort of surreal task that I want you to do. I want you to pick an object, fairly good size, not too small, so pair of shoes upwards kind of thing, and I want you to put it in a landscape or an interior that you wouldn't normally find that still life or that object. So for instance, beach balls obviously don't belong in a corridor. I get my students to pick anything, umbrellas, chairs, and put them in a sort of surreal landscape where they shouldn't normally be. So once you've taken your images, obviously the rules are you need a tripod, shoot on f22, so AV-F22, put it on manual focus and put it on self-timer. Only focus sort of a third of the way or half of the way into the shot and leave it on that focus. Right, so here we go. This is the finished image. I only have one beach ball, but I've managed to photograph it several times to comp this one together. Here's all my layers, and with each layer you're going to be adding a layer mask. And layer mask, if you're not using them at the moment, they're the genius element within Photoshop that basically lets you hide and reveal certain bits of the layer that you do or you don't want. So without further ado, open up your first two images. Here's mine, image 1 JPEG and image 2 JPEG. Select the Move tool, it's top in the toolbox. And what I want you to do is hold Shift down on your keyboard, click down in any of the images, and I want you to drag, keep dragging, hover, and then pull it back in and drop onto the top of the first image. Here we've got, in our layers palette, layer 1 and the background image, so the two different beach ball images. What you're going to do on the top layer is put a mask. The mask is a circle in the square, just here. The defaulted way in which masks are put onto a layer is that they're always white. Okay, so you've got a white mask there. Now, we can't see the white, but the white, you just have to know the following. When the mask is white, anything to the left of it on the layer is visible. If we were to fill that mask with black, everything to the left of that becomes invisible. So we're going to do that now by going to Edit up the top of the menu. Then we're going to go to Fill, and then we're going to choose black from the menu here. Hey presto, that beach ball goes invisible. It's not erased, it's just invisible, and it's showing through to the layer below. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to reveal just the beach ball element on that layer. Okay, so we're going to reveal that, and then obviously that's going to be visible, and then obviously everything around it looking through to the layer below. So if I choose the brush, we've just got to default the brush. You can press B on your keyboard to select the brush as well if you want to know the shortcut. Up here, make sure it's on normal brush mode, 100% opacity, flow 100%, smoothing 100%. Okay, and I prefer the keyboard shortcuts rather than the sort of the brush, the custom brush menu up here. So for big brushes and small brushes, I'm going to go to my square bracket keys next door to P on the computer. So if I go to square bracket right, I get a big brush, and then if I press left square bracket, I get a small brush. I want a sort of medium-sized brush, so that should do the trick. Next, it's brush smooth and hardness you need to know about. Again, you could go up to here. I prefer the shortcut menu. So to get a soft brush, you can see that's a soft brush, you press Shift square bracket left several times. Okay, we're already on that. So, but if you wanted a hard brush, you press Shift square bracket right several times. And if you watch the icon top left in your screen now, you'll see the brush getting harder as I press Shift square bracket right. Okay, So anything in between is just a variation. So that's a really hard edge brush. I'm going to go for the soft edge, which is shift square bracket left several times. Okay. Lastly, press D on your keyboard. That defaults the foreground and background colours respectively to white and black. If you ever want to swap them around, just press X and that will toggle them around. Okay, so we need white at the foreground. Here we go, and we're ready to go. We're just going to paint white here. Okay, where that beach ball was. Okay. Make sure you get the shadow in behind. And there we go. Great. Okay, we're going to repeat the process. So I'm going to go to File Open. And I'm going to choose the third JPEG. Same thing. So go to the Move tool, top of the toolbox. Hold down Shift key on your computer, and you're going to pull, drag, hover, let go of the mouse first, drop, okay, and then let go of Shift. Okay, same thing. We're going to put a mask. We're going to fill it with black. Edit, fill, black. That layer goes invisible. Remember, black signifies anything to the left is invisible, showing through to the layers below. Go back to the toolbox, we select a brush. The brush is all ready to go, white, 100%, etc. And that missing beach ball is roughly here. So there you go. Right, okay, I'm going to do one more beach ball for this task, because obviously the rest is fairly easy to you. But there's a couple of things you need to know about. It is attention to detail, ladies and gentlemen. Essentially, do zoom in and do an accurate job, because if you don't, then obviously you get shoddy workmanship, like with anything, okay? Now I've been able to do these two at full screen, so full size on the interface, but I'm going to have to zoom in using Control plus and Control minus, okay, for beach ball number 5. So File Open. I'm missing out 4 because obviously you can do that in your own time. So once image 5 is open, I'm just going to pull that in like we've done with the ones before, put a mask on it, fill it with black, and then with a brush I'm going to do the following. Okay, so it's exactly the same but zooming in. Now you may find that some of these beach balls clash with each other, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky. I'm going to paint in the invisible beach ball, so paint it back. Okay, so that's looking good, but as you can see, I don't want to use the word erased, because with masks you're not erasing, you're just revealing or hiding. So what I'm doing here is essentially I'm going to toggle back to black. So I can press X on my keyboard, or I can press the double-ended arrow. Now I'm going to hide the bottom half of the beach ball I'm on to reveal again the beach ball below. But what I'm doing is I want to get a nice line between both of them, obviously make it look super realistic. Now you can see I've sort of gone back and then started to hide the pixels again from the first layer. The reason I'm doing this is that when I do a sweep, it's easier to do a sweep sort of up to down rather than going that way personally. So I'm going to go back to white and zoom in, and remember small brush, so square bracket left. Make sure you make this beach ball all transparent. Opaque, as you don't get that sort of mottled kind of patterned carpet in behind. And what you're going to do essentially is just use smaller brushes, yeah, and you're going to sweep around. Now, it's going to take a bit of time to do this. I don't want you to rush yourselves. I want you to practice and take time to do a really, really good job. Now, you may find the soft edge brush is just too much. It's spraying tiny bit into the yellow. So I'm going to press Shift square bracket right a couple of times, and you'll see my brush harden up. But it's not hard. It's nowhere near a hard brush. It's just sort of in the middle. So as I go round, you'll find that it'll be easier to lay down the pixels. Okay. Now for the tutorial, I obviously don't really have time to finish this off, but you guys are going to do a super, super, super accurate job in getting this done. Okay, so that's the tutorial. I'd like you to finish off and do all 12 beach balls, and obviously complete it in line with the brief. So that will be your workshop. Then you guys are going to go out and do your own repetition task. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.